Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z, Facebook, eBay, and whatnot. It's all going to be flips and giggles. And if you're looking to level up your reselling game and you need a little help because you're disorganized and frankly clumsy with numbers, that's me, myself. So I need help getting everything together, and that's why I'm proud to be an affiliate of my reseller, Genie. And if you use my promo code GIGGLES, that's Giggles, you'll get 15% off of your subscription. So if you do the annual, I think it comes out to about like 3.5 months. So check that out. And then also, you're going to get 15% towards the bookkeeping education course. So that's like, you know, if you need some help figuring out what to do, where to start, how to do it, they're going to get you covered. So again, that's promo code GIGGLES, or you can use the link in my bio on Instagram. Ooh, reselling. I wish I could keep track of the weeks, dude, like a captain's log, reselling week number, whatever. Yeah, it's been decent. It's been an interesting couple weeks. I've been, I've been trying to focus a lot more of my time on to hanging out with my kids. I don't know if I've talked about this on here yet or not, but, my kids are like 6, and my daughter just turned 6. My youngest will be 4 soon. Summer's coming to an end. But like going into this summer, I was very much aware of the fact that my kids were like, they're not going to be that young again. So I wanted to make sure that we like did a lot of fun shit this summer. Took vacations, did some fun shit. So I've been, glad to do that, and I've had fun doing that, and I can't honestly wait for these kids to go back to school. Oh man, I'm gonna miss them when they're at school. But like, I think I said this earlier in the summer when I was on the podcast. Like, I was like, oh, I don't miss them yet. And now I'm to the point, like, that's how I was with my oldest, because she's just like, she's 6, she's, I love her to death, but she does not shut the fuck up. We took her to our neighbors are starting up like a little gym program. Like, it's like it's kind of like a chill, like gymnastics type thing. They do little songs. There's different age levels. And so they've been doing like their test courses and stuff. So they've been doing like free courses, and we already signed up to like, get a membership. And so they were doing like these practice courses, so their trainers and coaches and stuff can get trained up and more familiar with how to do things. And so my 6-year-old is doing it with all the little kids, because she was going to do like the later class, but there was one right before it for my youngest, and my oldest still fit like right into that kind of threshold. It was like, I think 4 to 6. So she had fun running around doing that. But like, my wife at one point looks at me, she's like, she has not stopped talking the entire time. So yeah, it's pretty funny that she's just little chatty Cathy, dude, like her dad. But I'm like, I don't talk a lot when I'm like places, it really depends. Like, in high school, my teachers would be like, some teachers would be like, yo, this dude does not shut the fuck up. Like, he's a fucking distraction. He's a class clown. And then other classes were like, yeah, he needs to speak up and participate more. He like doesn't say. So I was like 2 different people. It really depended. on who is in the class. I think I've said this before. I don't know. I've been doing the podcast too long. When you do a podcast by yourself, man, sometimes you're going to repeat some things. I feel like even podcasts I listen to that have other people on it, like they repeat shit all the time. So I'm just going to stop apologizing for it. I'm sorry. I will apologize though for the last couple episodes. I'm like, I need to get a new mic. And just now it kept fucking making noise. I was like, what the fuck, when I was doing my sound check. And then I realized that it had become like untwisted because I never bought a new mic. I just, I kept forgetting. So it was working. So I was like, whatever. But today it was really bad. And so I like noticed it was loose and I tightened it up and now it's fine. I can like fucking move my shit around and it's not going to make annoying like thumping noises. So, yeah, that's awesome. Wish I had realized that a few weeks back, but it is what it is. So now was I talking about anything else before? I don't know. We went to Boston yesterday. That was fun. We, it's, if you don't live anywhere near Boston and you've never been to Boston, it can be like a difficult like journey. Like our kids were just like the perfect age, and we only had to carry them like a couple times. I put my kids on the shoulders a couple times because like that's fun for them, fun for me. But I can't, like I used to be able to do it for long periods of time, but now they're so heavy it just hurts my neck and back. not even my back. Like I can hold them up. It's just because one, they move around a lot. Like my oldest is like, she's 6, she's like whipping her head around and she's so like long that like I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm gonna drop you. So I can only do it for a little while. But they were good. They walked the whole time. And then we took the subway, so that was fun. They were like pumped about that. My youngest said it was her favorite part of the trip. Got some pizza, got some pastries. We went to stop at this one place because we wanted to get pizza at Pizzeria Regina on the North End because it's so good every time. But we, like, the kids had to eat. It was getting late. It was like 2:00 at this point. So we had been walking, like, we parked at one of these parking spots and it said it was a short walk to Faneuil Hall, which it was. Like, we had to stop a couple times with the kids. So we walked from the parking spot, like we got to see some sights. We saw Chinatown, like a bunch of different shit. So, and then we got to Faneuil Hall and there was like a candy store right when we got there. So of course we're like, all right, we'll take you guys in because it was like a cool fucking candy store. So we wanted to look too. So of course we got a bunch of candy and started walking around. And there wasn't a ton of stores like that we wanted. There was a slime store, like, we made the mistake of like being like, oh, let's just check this store out. We walked in and it's a slime store. And like, I thought that's what it said when we walked in, but I was like, oh, maybe we can just check it out and come out. And it was like, yeah, it was like a whole like experience you had to pay for. And like, I was like, we're not doing this fucking slime thing just for this to end up like on our floor covered in fucking dog hair. Like, no, thank you. We went to some like, hold on. These kids are like playing. They were like pretend crying and then calling like one of the characters dad. So I'm like, hey, are you guys calling me? And they're like, no, we're just playing. I'm like, all right, cool. But we went to this, it was like a vendor event. One of the, same fucking vendor event they do everywhere. Like it'll be the same event at a bunch of different places. And there was these like younger kids selling slime, and my kids like of course wanted to go over and do the slime, and like I felt bad because there was like nobody at their line, and like but then we got it and we like I think it lasted the day. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't too expensive and like they were cool about it, but they were like, yeah, you can take like 2 scoops of like stuff to put in the slime, and they gave you like this tiny ass little spoon. So luckily they were letting him just like dump a bunch of shit in there. But it was yeah, I think it lasted the day, and then it was just like I don't know what happened to it. So fun. I honestly, like, now I'm kind of worried that slime is somewhere because I haven't seen it since that fucking day. Anyway, so yeah, I went to Boston yesterday. It was fun. Took the subway back. Like, we walked all the way over, and then I was like, well, it's a 26-minute walk back, or we could take the subway. So there was like, happened to be a subway stop like right across from where we were eating. So we walked across there, took the subway. So, and the subway let us off like directly across from where the parking garage was. So that was pretty sweet. So we went there. Hold on, sorry. I'm like hearing things. I thought my kid was in here. Anyway. So, yeah, oh, she snuck up on me the other night. We were sitting like watching TV, and my wife was like, I think I heard one of the kids come down, and I looked back and I didn't see them. I was like, no, I was like, I don't think so. So then, okay, hold on a second. All right, sorry, I'm back. Oh man, let me check my, I had to like rush and get this. I completely forgot that I needed to do the podcast today. Like, it's already the middle of the week. It snuck up on me. Whenever my wife is off at the beginning of the week, it literally throws the whole week off. I love my wife, but like, it's more me than her, because like, she's home. So I'm like, oh, she can like, you know, it's not even that, it's just like, it just throws off the rhythm, because like, if she's not there on Monday, you know, like, I have like the set thing that we go by on the schedule. But when she's there, I'm like, oh, I can get a little bit of work done. Like, so I try to do some work, and then I just forget. So like, it's already Wednesday. I was supposed to go grocery shopping on Monday. And I remember today at like 11:30, as I was going to get ready to make lunch, I'm like, I don't have any food. Like, I have food, but like, I didn't have shit like the staples that we have in our kitchen. So it just threw off like the whole week. And so I just remembered last minute that I had to podcast. But I have been, oh man, I'm like completely off center. There you go. But then I have been putting down topics too. So let me start. What can we talk about here? Oh, I know what I could talk about. We're a couple minutes in. Let's talk about this comment that I got. It got deleted, not by me. I was kind of bummed because it was a good comment. And so I've been posting daily on Instagram. I think I missed like one day. I've been doing it for like 5 weeks. Because I know this, because I just got like the thing from Instagram. It's like, oh, good job. You've been doing like 5 weeks, blah, 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 blah. And so I posted a video on like Saturday, I think it was. Maybe, yes, it had to be Saturday. So I went out on Saturday with my kids, and we didn't get a whole ton of stuff, but we did get a few things that were like decent flips. And one of the things that we found was a Pokemon like crew neck shirt. It was a Pokemon Center, and it was a size extra large adult, which is a good size. Great condition. Had like one little stain that I cleaned and was able to get out, and now it's like good to go. And you can't find them. There's one listed. It's a size medium, and it's like in the UK or something like that, and it's like $130 is what they're asking for it. Maybe it's in Canada, I forget. So we were at a sale, and my daughter was out with me because it was like a big ass sale. So we had both my kids. I had both my kids by myself, and the girls were like looking at the clothes with me. And so my daughter was like, Dad, look, this is Pokemon. And I completely missed it because it was kind of like tucked behind the shirts I had already gone through. So I was able to see it, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, this could be like a decent find. And so I posted, and I kind of like, I've been learning what works on Instagram, what doesn't, trying to get my like shit up. Although I saw somebody the other day, I'm like, because I'm like, oh, like, let me see like what somebody with, you know, a few more followers than me does, and like how many views and shit. And it was like crazy, way more than like even my best video had done, or my best reel. And so I was like, oh shit, like, so that was a little humbling. The fuck? I'm struggling right now. So, fuck, what the fuck was I? Oh, yeah. So I put in the title, like, or in the caption or whatever, I put, like, my 6-year-old found a rare Pokemon shirt. And, like, almost immediately, like, a couple minutes later, I got a comment notification. And I checked it, just, like, pulling my phone, swiping down on my phone, and I could see it. And it said, what the fuck did it say? It said, wow training. Oh, let me find it, because I gotta read it. It's one of those I gotta read it, because it was so funny. And I didn't delete it, but then it's gone. It's just missing. I can't find it. It's just not there. So I don't know what happened to it, but I didn't delete it. I wanted to keep it up because it was so funny. But I think maybe they deleted it or what. But I don't know. Maybe it's because it said something about my 6-year-old, which is why it got taken down. I have no idea. But I did think it was funny. It was really funny. Here it is. So it says, daughter trained in scalping, whole family from hell. Which, yeah, it made me, like, genuinely laugh. It was funny. And I told my wife, and she thought it was funny. But, like, I'm wondering if they deleted it because they realized it was a fucking stupid comment. I don't know. I have no idea. But, like, that's not what scalping is. Like, when I was a kid, scalpers were, like, the people that went and bought all the Tickle Me Elmo dolls, like, at Christmas time. So people had, like, desperate moms had to, like, meet in a back alley and, like, you know, suck these guys off for this fucking giggling, fucking maniacal little toy that, like, you know, every kid had to have. Like, that's what I think of as a scalper. Like, somebody who scalps, like, tickets, you know, like, buys up all the concert tickets. Finding a random Pokemon sweatshirt that happens to be sold out and, like, somewhat sought after, randomly, like, finding it randomly at a yard sale is not scalping. I hate to tell you. When I go buy Pokemon cards, I buy, like, a couple packs and just, you know, keep them. So I don't even do that. Like, I at one point I bought, like, the stores out, but this was before, like, this was in a time when nobody was even looking for cards. Like, I lived in an area, nobody was looking for cards. So, like, I did it a couple times and, like, would sell them locally to different people that, like, there was one guy who was in town from, like, Seattle, and his, like, his wife was, like, having a baby, and he bought, like, a fuckload. I think it was, like, Bowman 2020. I can't remember which one it was, but he, like, bought all of them. And, like, we kind of had a rapport or whatever, going back and forth. And then he hit me up, like, randomly, like, a year later, and I had already moved. And he was like, hey, man, like, hope all is well, blah, 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 like, being super friendly. He's like, is there any chance you got any more of that, like, but da-da-da-da? And I was like, oh, no, man, I ended up moving, like, hope everything's good with you. And then I never heard back from him again. But he spent, like, almost $2,000 on these cards. And he, like, was just probably ripping them in the car while his wife was up in labor. Like, this dude was a fucking straight up degenerate. But, like, yeah, so that was, like, 2020. And, like, I haven't done, now I just, like, if I find some Pokemon cards, I'll grab a couple, you know. I started trying to collect them sealed again, but my daughter has been wanting to open them up. So she was like, oh, can we open one pack today? I'm like, yeah, sure. So it's hard to say no to that, you know what I mean? So, but I am trying to keep them sealed. I've just been grabbing a couple at a time anytime I go in when they have them. But the Target near me has had them a lot more frequently. But, like, yeah, it's definitely, you got to get in there, like, when they have them. So, like, I go in, like, check, like, Thursday, Friday if I want them. But I haven't gone and checked even, like, the last couple weeks. Unless my wife sends me in, then I'll go and check in they have, like, the new drops area for all their cool collectible shit. So, But anyway, yeah, so this comment, like, whole family from hell, it was so funny because, yeah, like, the chances of me finding that sweatshirt, like, you know, it's not like I camped out at the Pokemon Center place and, like, bought up a bunch of them. Like, it was one that was randomly at a yard sale. So I just thought that was entertaining. I don't know, you know, saying like that I've trained my daughter in scalping is funny too. It just made me laugh, like, altogether. I wish it had stayed up. I wish the comment had stayed up, but I don't know why it went away. It wasn't me. This time it wasn't me. Last time I deleted it in a panic, and I wish I had left it because it was such a funny comment. It was like, what did the review say? It said, something about me using the word retarded or something. It was like, it's 2025 maybe at this time. Yeah, it was 2025 or something like that. And they were like, you shouldn't use that word. And then I did a whole episode discussing why I should or shouldn't say that word. So anyway, I didn't delete this comment. That wasn't me. Not my style, Jit. So what the fuck? I should say that I did smoke a little bit before this episode. It's been a while since I've smoked weed before an episode. But I was like, you know what? I feel like I can. I got a good night's sleep. I was like, I'm up. I did my stretches. I'm good to go. I think it's been going all right so far, except for just like 2 seconds ago where I just like my mouth stopped working. And I guess I didn't even have to admit that I had smoked weed because, you know. Anyway, let me. Oh yeah, this was crazy. So the other night, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Me and my wife were like up watching TV, and I checked on one of I just like jumped on Facebook real quick to check like the marketplace, all that stuff, and somebody had posted like 10 to 15 minutes prior to that they were putting out like 20 plus vintage Disney snow globes, and it was like a curb alert, so it was first come first serve, and this was at like 11:15 at night, or like between 11 and 11:15. So I saw it and I was like, man, and I knew I probably wasn't going to bed like until a little bit later anyway, and like, you know, we had just finished the show, so I was like, all right. I asked my wife if she cared if I went. It was like 15 minutes away, so I just boom got in the car, went. I got there, I see the boxes on the curb. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude, they're gonna be here. Thank goodness. Not a wasted trip. This is like 11:30 at night. And I pull up and I go up to the boxes and I grab the first one and it's empty. And I look in all the boxes. Somebody had come and taken all of them out, but left like the boxes out with the sign that said free Disney snow globes. I was so mad. I thought that for sure. I was like, oh dude, it's 11 o'clock at night. Like nobody's going to run out, you know. Of course I was a little too far away, but like if I had seen it right when it was posted, maybe would have had a chance. But my guess is they probably put it out there earlier in the night and then posted it, like, and then the admins just didn't do it until later. That's my guess. And it was like gone, long gone. But yeah, that was like, you know, not a huge risk. It was really like not that far. I was back home by like just before midnight. So it was not you know, wasn't a huge waste of time. Obviously it was later at night, but you know, that's part of the game. You know, I've wasted so much time in this job. That's part of this job. Part of like having a job where you have like a ton of time now, not even a ton of time. You just have like the ability to like, you know, make your own time or what it is. But like, yeah, the amount that you waste time, like going to shitty yard sales or like, you know, going to pick up free shit that's already been picked up. Like, you know, there's a lot of wasted time in a profession that allows you to have a lot more free time, or flexible time, I should say. So I just think that's funny. Anyway, let me keep it moving. The guy that I bought the vintage board games from, a while back. I did a whatnot with them, if you recall, and yeah, I won't ever do that again. It was a lot of work, and I didn't make a lot of money. I think I ended up actually like down money after that one, because it was just like I had to do like ship all these giant boxes, so that sucked. But I did make money. I think I did ultimately make money because I sold some other stuff on the side. So I went on Marketplace and I saw this posting. It was this guy, and it was the guy like selling the VHS. So I hit him up, and I just happened to be the first one. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. You know, sorry I lost your information. I was gonna, reach out to you, but I'm glad you saw this." So I was like, "All right." He's like, "I got some more stuff that you might want to look at too, like if you want to come by." And I've already dealt with this guy before. And the first collection I got from him, like, yes, it was a pain in the ass to deal with, but everything in it was like very clean, very well taken care of, complete. Like there's a lot of complete sets and stuff. And so I went back over there. And the first time I went there I walked in, he had like two clear tubs of video game stuff, and I could just see. Oh, and luckily he told me right away, like, "Oh, that stuff's not for sale. Like my kids are taking that." Because yeah, I had asked him about other stuff the time before, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I got some stuff you might be interested in." And I walked in and saw that, and like, damn near fucking came in my pants. And he was like, "Yeah, it's not for sale." So all right, cool. So I went over this time, and he's like, "Yeah, I've got more stuff that you can take if you're interested in it." And so we went down, and like she shows me it. It's there's some like vintage Care Bears in the package, like Y2K era, a couple other like For Real Friends, a couple other random like toy bins and buckets and stuff. And then in one of them I found a little thing of like 80s GI Joes, the little 3.75 inch guys. So I found a bunch of those, not a bunch, like probably like 4 or 5. But like that little bag, and then there's a bunch of accessories and like guns and weapons and shit in with it. So my guess is that might probably pay for that whole lot, which will be nice. But actually I did the VHS, so I got a bunch of VHS. It was a lot of like kids stuff. And I'm bummed because he was like, "Yeah, my kids took like 100 VHS tapes." I'm sure they probably took all the horror, like all the good shit. And I say good shit, but there was still good shit in this one. Like I sold one tape for like $30. I sold one for like 25. So we did the whatnot. What day was it? Monday morning. So we did a Monday morning VHS show with all of the stuff that I picked up. So I started everything at $3 a piece, and we went for like 2 hours. So we did $355 in sales, and I think I cleared like $292, something like that. So paid $140 for everything, including the toys and all that stuff. And I still have a bunch of VHS we didn't get to that I can probably start at $1 each and make like another $100 to $150. I could sell it all in one lot, but I'd rather like build up my whatnot a little bit. And then. Yeah, so there was just a bunch of like random VHS stuff in there. There was some good stuff in there though. There was another like Nickelodeon one. There was like a Gargoyles one with all of the board game pieces and everything, so that was cool. So yeah, it was a good fun show. Yeah, the last VHS show was the one where I had that fucking weirdo. So there was no weirdos this time. I found one that had mold, and I was like afraid to run it. And then somebody won it, and it happened to be a dude I know locally. So I was like, "Oh, I'm glad it was you, because you're not gonna have any issues, So that was nice. And then let me see what else we got to talk about. What else? Oh yeah, I saw these old ladies at a yard sale the other day, and they all had their hair dyed. Like each had a different color. Like one was like purple, one was like blue. And we gotta stop letting old ladies dye their hair. It looks horrible. It looks like cotton candy. It's fucking terrible. Oh man, it's yeah. I get it. It's like you're resisting or whatever. But it looks really bad. And if you can't tell your Nana or your Gigi or whatever you want to call them, if you can't tell them that their hair looks stupid, you gotta like, you're gonna let them walk around with this like a horrible look on their head. It really does look like cotton candy. That's all I really wanted to say, was that it looks like cotton candy. Yeah, old people gross me out too. I'm sorry if you're old, and because I know I'm technically old to some people, and I probably gross some people out. I'm just worried I'm going to get to that point with my kids where my kids are just visually grossed out by me. Like at one point, I was visually grossed out by my mom. Sorry, Mom. So yeah, I try to avoid that by like not being a complete fat shit. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't smoke weed before I do this podcast. So yeah, Saturday. So the sale that I found the Pokemon thing at. It was a sale. They have it every year, and like, man, sometimes I go there and I get a great deal on some stuff like I could resell for good money, and then sometimes I get nothing. Like I got a $2 Linkin Park. It was like a Minutes to Midnight. I think, is that the album? It was that album, the one with like with the first one where they like cursed for the first time. I don't remember. I think that's the name of it. But I got a T-shirt there. I sold that for some good money. But yeah, like it's weird. Like it's like every other time. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So it's like, do I go? Do I not go? So I had about 4 things in my hand, including the Pokemon shirt that I was like, I'm definitely getting this. And then I had a Scooby-Doo pillow and a sleeping bag. And I had one other thing too. I don't remember what it was. But I asked what she wanted for like all of that, like that little bundle combined. She was like $20. Which was more than I wanted to pay. I was going to pay like 10. At this point, I don't know if this Pokemon shirt's worth any money. I'm just taking a chance on it. The other stuff, like, the pillow, this lady had a sale the year before, because she has them every year. I go every year. And she had this pillow, the exact pillow. And I remember I was trying to buy it, but she wanted too much money. And I didn't get it. So I tried to get it this year, thinking like it'd be like $1 or $2. And still, she's like, oh no, those are old. I'm like, all right, well, it's going right back down. So I put those back. There was a Scooby-Doo sleeping bag. I put that back. Probably should have bought it for that, for $5, but whatever. It was kind of the principle, because like that pillow had definitely been there the year before. And then there's like another thing that like she charged me $5 for that was like, definitely not worth $5. Probably saved me the money. So, yeah, I just, I put everything back but the Pokemon shirt. I wasn't like mad or anything. I never get mad. I'm like, it's your prerogative. So I just put the stuff back where I got it, and then took off with the Pokemon shirt. And other than that, like, it wasn't a great day. There wasn't a ton of sales. There was one that I had looked at that I was kind of like back and forth on, and I ended up driving out there, and this guy was going through the records when I got there. I didn't know they had records, and I wasn't like really even hopeful. I never like run to the records first, unless that's like the best thing there. You know what I mean? If I go somewhere and that's like the best thing there, but I do like, I will, buy records anytime I can if it's the right genre. So this guy was looking at him, and he finished up. I was looking at Stuffies, and he paid and left, and I went over to the records because I'm like, oh, let me just see what they got. And like right off the bat, there was like 2 copies of Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. So I grabbed both of those, and then there was a bunch of Ozzy, Black Sabbath, but like I probably got like, I think I got 13 of them, 13 albums, because there was a bunch of them. A lot of it was like the old people shit that nobody wants. Herb Albert, all that shit, and the Tijuana Brass. So yeah, that was like, that was a good find. That was pretty good. And then what else? That was about it. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. There's a yard sale going on right now across town, but she like sent me a video of what she had, and she had 2 PlayStation 4s, and she wanted like $100 each, which is like crazy, with no games, nothing, just like the PS4. So, again, it's your prerogative. You can sell it for whatever you want, but I'm not driving across town for that. It's not a great deal. I do have somebody who hit me up. It's somebody that I've bought from in the past. I met them at their yard sale a few years back, and their yard sale was not advertised very well at all. So I got there a little early, and I bought like most of his stuff. And then he reached out later and was like, I have more stuff. So I met up with them again and got some more stuff. And so then they reached out a third time, and they were like, we have more stuff here. And they wanted $350 for everything. I told them I'd give them like $200 for everything. And so they said that's fine. So I'm supposed to meet up with them like Saturday, because he's got like a couple of video game consoles, some trading cards, some comics. So we'll see what he's got. I know he has a lot more. Like, this is just the stuff he's like getting rid of that he doesn't want to have anymore. So I gotta ask them about T-shirts and stuff like that, because I keep forgetting to ask. So yeah, I'm gonna reach out to them after I'm done with this podcast and see. So I went to a yard sale a few weeks back, if you remember. It's like an estate yard sale. That's where I got all those blow molds. And oh no, that wasn't where I got the. Oh yeah, it was where I got the blow molds. That's right, I got the blow molds from that one. But they had like a shed full of like brand new like TVs and brand new there was a VCR. So I grabbed the VCR. It turned out, because I was going back and forth what to do with it, and it had like Best Buy tape. So I looked up what that tape meant, and it means that it's not brand new. It was like returned, it's refurbished, whatever. So I opened it up today to make sure to test it and everything. And I had this Nirvana tape that I've had for like a couple years now. And I haven't wanted to sell it just because I'm like, I don't know if that's actually what's on there. Like, I don't want to sell somebody a tape that has nothing on it, because there's no label on it, nothing. It's just a blank tape in a like a cassette box, like a plastic one that has like a artwork that was made. It's a nice looking artwork. So it's from like 1991. So I threw that in for an Instagram video too. So I did like a reel of me like popping it in. I was like, I hope this is what it says it is. You know what I mean? You pull it up, it's like some fucking CP or some shit. I'm like, oh fuck. Like, that's always like selling VHS, like that would be fucking terrifying if you sell something that like, yo, you sold me some shit. So I mean, I feel like you'd have to check every VHS, but the blank ones, for whatever reason, I'm more so like, if I'm selling them untested, I'm like, I need to check out what's on here. But like regular ones, most of the time I don't check. I just check for mold. I sell everything untested as is. So, but yeah, it actually was Nirvana, and it's crazy to watch. Like, I was watching it, like, just like, I watched a bunch of it this morning, but I'm so nervous about like fucking up the tape, and I still don't know if I'm gonna sell it or not, like, because I'd have to imagine I could get a decent amount of money. I don't think I could sell it on eBay. I'm not sure. Like, I saw some listed on eBay, but none sold, which is weird to me, because I feel like there would be some sold if they were like, able to be sold, because it's so like, just watching it for me, I was like, this is so fucking cool. Like, it's shot from like backstage, so you see the band, and like you can see the dude who's filming it is like talking to Dave Grohl. He's like asking him about his tattoo and shit, and like he's then he goes back to this concert, like this was like in between songs or whatever. And then like it goes back to the show, and there's like fucking people crowd surfing, and like it had to have been when they were like just starting to get a little bit bigger. Like, I'm trying to see what the peak was. What was because when did he die? Like 94. When did Nevermind come out? Let me see. When did Nevermind come out? Because 91. Okay. Yeah, so that must have been when that first came out. It's also the first album to feature their new drummer, Dave Grohl. Yeah, so that must, because Dave Grohl is in it. It's clearly Dave Grohl. And it was like, yeah, it's from 91 in Dallas. But it was like a bigger show, so it must have been like right when they were starting to blow up, because it was like, yeah, it was, the energy in that shit was crazy. So I'm keeping it unless I get the right price for it, but because I would actually watch that again. Like, I would get a VCR just to watch that shit again. Like, I want to watch it like the whole thing through. But it was good. I was glad I got to see that, so that was pretty cool. I posted some of that to my Instagram stories if you wanted to see some clips from that. Let's see what else we got, because I can probably start wrapping it up soon. Oh, Shoobies, yeah. My kids are funny. They've been like, you know, because I call the tourist Shoobies from Rocket Power. So they like fucking with me because they know the Shoobies annoy me. So they're like, because I was telling them, we went and saw the Paw Patrol movie last week. It was fun. We had a good time. And my kids are like, because we know the Bluey movie comes out next summer around the same time. So I was like, oh, the Bluey movie comes out like next summer. They're like, oh, you know what that means? And they go, Shoobies. And they like start giggling and shit. Because they know it annoys me. So I thought that was funny. Let me see. I got a couple more things to talk about here before we finish up. I started going through the Lego haul from Maine. I got all those vintage Legos from Maine, and some of the sets are worth some pretty good money. There's like 2 smaller sets of train tracks. That number specifically was selling for like $30 to $45, like $35-$45, like that kind of range. And then there was one that was like a value pack. I always look up stuff like that you couldn't like find necessarily everywhere. So it was like a value 4-pack of 4 different Legos in one pack. And this one's, it looks like it's all complete. Like most of these things look like they're complete. Like I got to go through them obviously. But it had like all 4 things. So there's like 4 different sets in one. So it looked like it had all that stuff. So that was like a bigger one. So it was good. Yeah, there was a lot of like, you know, good. Did I just keep this rolling earlier and stop? I did, right? No, I didn't. I just kept it rolling. So I do have a couple more minutes to go. For some reason, I was thinking I recorded for like 10 minutes and then like stopped and then started again. But I guess I didn't. So I can talk a little bit more about this. I forget what I was talking about already. Oh yeah, going through the Lego haul. So yeah, there's some pretty good shit in there. There's somebody who reached out on Instagram who's like looking to buy some of it. So I got to go through those sets that he was interested in to see if that's complete first, and then try to sell some of that. But I paid $90 for everything, and like, you know, I should make probably over $1,000 on everything, because there's a bunch of complete sets. Like a few of them were going for $100 to $200. So yeah, it was looking good. Anyway, that's the podcast. I'm gonna wrap it up because I gotta get these kids into the pool. These kids want to go swimming. Make sure if I get this podcast out early enough today, I probably won't, but I'll post this on my Instagram. If you are around tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be doing stuffed animals, plush stuffed animals. And I've got some vintage stuff. I've got some newer stuff. I've got some Webkins. So it should be a good time. That's 8 p.m. Flips and Giggles on Whatnot. So make sure you check that out. And make sure you follow me on Instagram. I've been trying to post a lot more lately. So I would appreciate it if you could follow me, try to get that building up. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you're not already. Hit that notification button so you know when the podcast gets posted. I try to be on time, and I promise I'm not going to promise because I break promises all the time. But I'm going to really try to be on an actual schedule. I got to figure out what my schedule is going to be once the kids are back in school so I can start preparing for that. But they have fucking vacation like 3 weeks after they start school. Like, that's how it always goes. I'm like, all right, we're going to get this routine going, and then bam, they're fucking off. You know, right when I hit a stride, that's when they're going to be off for a week. I'm going to have to redo everything I know. So And follow me on Instagram, Perry Flips with a Z, Facebook, Whatnot, and eBay, Flips and Giggles. And yeah, make sure you tell everybody you know who's interested in reselling stuff that you like this podcast. Leave a review. And have a blessed day. Thank you.